and he's Jack Gold. This is the MMA Outsiders episode 125, and we are bringing you guys this new format as it is Thursdays. For those of you who need the Cliff Notes version of what's been going on here, this is a newer venture on playback for now. The MMA Outsiders are going to be twice a week. Tuesdays is more of the news and information section of the show. Today we are going to be previewing everything that is UFC Paris. Jack, how are you today?
I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here with you, and I cannot wait for this weekend's UFC card.
Yeah, it should be a good one. It's one of those rare fight nights that people are actually excited about. So without further ado, let's take a look and a further scope at this lineup, because this lineup to me has a chance to be quite good. So let's take a look here. This is courtesy of Tapology. As we pull it up here, let's get rid of this advertisement. So, Imamov versus Bahia this Saturday, ESPN Plus. As you guys can see on the screen, it's a 14 fight card from the Accor Arena in Paris, France. For a fight night card, I actually think this is pretty stacked with a lot of interesting names, some interesting prospects in here. So, because we have 30 to 45 minutes to do this, are you interested in just going up and down the card and seeing what we think about all these? Because I think almost every fight on this card is something noteworthy. When do you agree?
I 100% agree. And before we started off, I want to just add a little cherry on top of that. This is one of the very few cards where we have 4 debuting European champions all competing on the same night. I'm very excited. We'll get to them, but I'm a big European regional guy, and there's a lot of people on this card that I like. But Zan, take it away.
Sure. So I guess, would you prefer to start from the bottom of the card, or would you prefer to start with the main event? I'll go whatever order you feel is most convenient for you.
I think we should go bottom to top.
All right, so starting with the first prelim of the night, and again, there are a lot of international types of talent on here, but we're gonna start in the women's division here. We got Sean and Bannon taking on Sam Hughes. This is a fight that I think jumps off the page for me, just considering that Sam Hughes over the last few years has yet to find her footing, and Bannon I think is a prospect that I think the UFC is really high on, but I think is yet to have a signature win. What do you think of this fight just overall off the top? Because stylistically, I think it's quite interesting. What do you think?
I think it's super fun. I think this is going to be a great opener. I think it's going to be a great women's fight. I think Shauna Bannon's a great kickboxer who's always exciting. And her last fight just pulled off an insane comeback that against another fighter, who knows if that would have happened, but she pulled it off. It was really awesome. And unlike the UFC, maybe, I love Sam Hughes. I love Sam Hughes. She is one of my favorite women's fighters there is. She will always fight for your money. And I think from that, I think you know who I think might win this.
Yeah, I would suspect as well. Just taking a look at some of the tail of the tape variables here. Bannon coming in as a plus 240 underdog. Um, Comeback on Sam Hughes is quite favorable and minus 300. Obviously, both of them have been stellar. In their last few, the Tapology community really likes Sam Hughes here. I also like Sam Hughes to get it done, but I actually think it'll be a little bit more conservative, and I think Sam Hughes will walk away with a unanimous decision. What about you?
I agree. I think it's going to be 29-28 Sam Hughes.
Interesting. So I guess with that being said, let's just go into the picks builder and just start building this. So you and I agree there.
I
Okay.
like it. I like Sam Hughes.
All right. So let's take a look at this next one. We got Facardino versus Gustafson. What stands out to you in regards to that one?
So what stands out to me in this fight is so many people, all of the online content creators, a lot of the sharps, they're all taking Andreas Gustafsson here, which I like him. I think he's good, but I think they are heavily discounting what Hanat has done in the UFC. Yes, does he have some close decisions, but he wins them all. And his grappling is, I think, much higher level than Andreas Gustafsson. And I think with the people, Hanat opened as a favorite, an okay favorite, and now he's sitting at a plus 105 underdog. I'm going with Hanat here. I think he's going to get the job done by decision.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you here, and I actually think that Gustafsson gets a finish. But what I can guarantee you is that this fight will be nothing short of entertaining. I think it'll be one of those fights where it could be an early sleeper candidate for fight of the night. So I'm actually gonna have to we disagree with you here, and I'm picking Gustafsson to win by stoppage more than likely, either in the second or third round. But I'll probably go a little bit more conservative and say second. So but we're gonna disagree there. But yeah,
I
so
like it. I totally understand. I think it's a close, even fight for a reason, you know?
hmm so moving over to his next fight, we have sort of a veteran against an unknown. We got Brad Tavares taking on Robert Brysek here. What stands out to you about this one? Because to be quite honest with you, I'm really surprised that Brad Tavares is still in the UFC. What about you?
I think he is a fantastic gatekeeper for this level of an opponent. A debut, maybe the first couple fights of their UFC career, maybe if they won a couple and then lost, Brad Tavares is their next fight. And let me tell you something. I was super high on Robert Brychek on the regional scene, but after seeing him lose a decision to Ihor Peteria, I don't think I can ever pick him again. And I think Brad Tavares is going to keep his job and keep fighting in the UFC, getting a decision victory.
Yeah, let's take a look. Let's take a look here at the tail of the tape on this one. Brad Tavares has been in the UFC for just a little over 15 years, sitting at 21-10. Has struggled over his last five or so, but is still relatively game as you said. And Bryzek, he's 35, and I feel like he's a late bloomer at 35, but he's one of those guys to where to me, nothing really stands out with him in terms of just marketability or anything like that. So I actually think that Tavares wins this fight comfortably too. But I'm gonna go a little bolder and say that I think Tavares finishes him, and I don't think, and I don't believe the judges are needy here. Can you go a little bit deeper as to why you think that Tavares winning by decision is a little bit more conservative rather than by finish?
I just think it's how Brad Tavares fights. His typical style is he puts it on you and he'll do it for 3 rounds and it'll be close. Like even with Chris Weidman off of the leg injury, the most vulnerable that Chris Weidman has ever been, Brad still took it to a decision. I think that's just how he is. I think that's how he fights. I think he could get the finish. It could come, but I think just statistically speaking, it's more likely to be a decision from him.
Okay, for sure. Moving on now to the next one, we've got Sam Patterson taking in Trey Waters. What stands out to me with this fight is I've seen Trey Waters live and in person, and I think he's a very exciting fighter, and I think that Sam Tavares, or excuse me, Sam Patterson is going to bring it too. I actually could see this being a 3 round slugfest. What do you think?
This is my most anticipated fight of the night. I love this fight. Like you said, I've seen Trey Waters in person as well, and dude is massive for 175 pounds. Massive. What would you say when you saw him in person?
Well, first off, he fought just a tremendous fight, and luckily enough, I was there cage side. I got to pick a prelim at UFC St. Louis to go see, and I just thought the Trey Waters, I just thought the Trey Waters fight would be interesting, and sure enough, I was right. And I don't know, man, just his heart, just his determination, the way he was able to stay in there, in that fight, he fought a tough guy, he fought a really game opponent, and the crowd was into it. And I think for those people who have never seen Trey Waters fight before, but maybe I've seen Sam Patterson on the regional scene. This is one of those prelims where I know a lot of people who tend to skip the prelims. This is a prelim that I would highly suggest not skipping for the reasons I just mentioned, and I think whoever catches the other with a big shot could change the course of the fight. But I just see these two staying in there, and it's just going to be an all-out slugfest with little to no wrestling whatsoever. And I think Waters is going to edge a really close split decision. What do you think?
See, I'm going to go the opposite way. As much as I love Trey Waters, I think his regional competition is not anywhere near Sam Patterson. And Sam Patterson himself is an extremely large fighter. He's 6'3", a very similar reach, but his grappling is extremely good. And he got knocked out in his debut against Yanal Ashmouz at 155. Now 6'3" at 155, that's too much in my opinion. But when he, in his regional scene coming up, he had 11 fights, I believe, most of them in Brave, a lot against Dagestani fighters,
Yeah, 11.
and he
Hmm.
was finishing them. He was finishing these Russian guys. And I don't think Trey Waters have fought people like that. I think Sam Patterson's chin is locked up. And we saw Trey Waters' only loss is Gabriel Bonfim via Von Flue choke. And I can see a Sam Patterson Darce from standing clinch taking him down, something like that. But I'm going with Sam Patterson.
Interesting. Okay, moving on to the next fight. Late replacement here. We've got Fernandez versus Harry Hardwick. I know a lot of people are really high on Harry Hardwick. This should be an exciting fight as well. A very, very um intriguing prospect, if you would, of England sitting at 13-3-1. Um, Fernandez is one of those guys where, when he least expected, he performs pretty well. Um, Unfortunately, as much as I would love to pick Hardwick in this spot, just given his resume, I just feel like 4 days notice is too little, too late for a successful UFC debut. What do you think?
You're 100% correct, and I am going to pick Kawe Fernandez here. However, I just want to preface how much I love Harry Hardwick and George Hardwick. I think they're two of my favorite fighters out of England. And Harry Hardwick, he'll get a second chance after this because he's always fun and exciting. The fans love him. And I think this is going to be a fantastic fight. But I think, like you said, it's going to be a little too much for 4 days.
Yeah, and yeah, I would 100% attest that I think another fight, which is the next fight up on this card that a lot of people are excited about, a relatively new addition to the UFC from the PFL, and Delia is finally in the UFC, and he's fighting Marcin Tybura. And this one, I saw that he got Tybura right off the top. I was extremely, extremely surprised. I thought they would usher him into like a further top contender type of spot, just given the body of work that he's done in the PFL. And it feels like to me Ty Burr is just in desperate need of a win, and maybe the UFC uh is feeding him to Dillian, thinking that he may catch Dillian napping, but I just don't see how Anti Dillian loses this fight. What do you think?
Man, when I saw this fight announced, I thought the UFC had the exact right idea. Let's test him. And I think Marcin Tybura is the perfect test. It's like if you beat him, you're top, and if you don't, go to below. Like you're a bottom level heavyweight. However, I think you're right. I think Ante Delia is legit. I think he trains with all the best heavyweights in England with Tom Aspinall and Philip DeFries and Modestas Bakauskas. Ante Delia is going to get the job done.
You think he'll win by KO TKO, or do you think he'll win by decision? What do you think?
That's a really good question. I think Tybura is super, super durable. So I think it's either going to be like an under half a round KO or a 3-round decision.
Okay, I'm going bolder for my personal predictions and have him winning in the first round. I'm curious to see what your pick is going to look like in the next few days because I think that's going to be when you're going to be going back and forth about it. Am I right in saying that or am I wrong?
I think you're right. I think it is. I think it's either going to be a first round KO or decision. I'm not too sure, but we will find out.
All right, let's take a look at this next one. Omar C versus Brenson Hibero. And this is one where I feel like the UFC is doing everything it can to either not sacrifice Hibero, but pretty much leave him on the verge of if you don't do anything in these next few fights, then we're gonna look in a different direction. And I think they're just trying to build C's name up. What do you think?
I agree. I think Hibero's matchmaking has been really weird. Like he's gotten Dyer Nergoze, then he got Azamat.
Mirzakhanov.
Yep, Mirzakhanov. I couldn't think of his last name. Who's top ranked, and now he's getting another huge prospect. He got Mingyang Zhang. Like he's getting some really hard fights. But I think after Alonzo Menafield slowed down Omar Sy in his last fight, the UFC is giving him every opportunity that he can to win this fight. And I think you're right. He's a minus 400 favorite, and I think he gets the job done.
Yeah, I mean he is a massive favorite for sure. And I mean, dude, he's literally fighting at home. feel like most of these Paris fighters on this card are going to end up doing pretty well. And I just simply think that C's one of them. And I don't usually do UFC locks of the week, but if I had a lock of the week this week, I would say that C inside the distance seems like a fair play. What do you think?
I like that pick. I like that pick a lot.
All right, let's take a look at the next fight now. We got William Gomez taking on Robert Ruchelada. How do you feel? Well, how do you feel about this one? Given that I don't think Gomez has fought anyone of the stature of Ruchelada, and I don't think, and kind of on the same wavelength. I think arguably, this is Ruchelada's toughest fight because you don't know what version of William Gomez you're gonna get. Am I wrong in saying that?
No, I think you're right. And here's now I forgot to mention Harry Hardwick, first of four European champions debuting on this card. Robert Ruchala, second. He was the KSW featherweight champion, and KSW is legit. And I think you might be right here. I think it is going to be both of their toughest fights. And I'm taking Robert Ruchala. I really like him. I think he's very talented. He started his career off with a bunch of submissions, and now he's got a bunch of TKOs back to back to back. His only loss was against Saladin Parnis, who is like a 3-division champion in KSW. He's one of the best fighters outside of the UFC. So I think he's rocking and rolling and going to get the job done by decision.
Yeah, and I meant to pull this up. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape here. We've got 14 and 3 taking on 11-1, and and Jack, you're gonna have to prove the Tapology community wrong, my friend, because most of the community's got Gomez at 77% for winning this fight. So if you make this pick and you're right, you might end up proving a lot of people wrong. You never know.
Here's what I will say, though. If it ends up being close, if it ends up being a split decision, it is going to go to Gomez's way because it is at home. I'm putting it now. This is going to be one of those fights where either Ruchala will win all 3 rounds or Gomez will win a bad split decision. Put it on the board now.
Okay, interesting. And moving on now, we're into the main card portion of this, and this is a fight that I'm really excited about, and I think you're gonna be fascinated by what I'm about to tell you because this next fight that we're about to talk about, Patricio Pitbull and Hussein Keita, I actually had a chance to interview Keita before he became a double champion in Octagon. So I followed this guy's career for over 3.5 years, and I just got to say I am so happy he's finally in the UFC because I'm one of the few people that was calling for him to be in the UFC over 2 years ago, and for him to get this spot on a main card in Paris against a guy of the caliber of Patricio Pitbull is very, very impressive. What do you think?
I'm with you. I love Hussein Keita. I think he is awesome. And don't let that one fool you. He is 16-0. He
Oh,
got
I know.
he got injured 1 minute into that fight.
Freak accident. I
Freak,
know. Yeah,
freak
yeah.
accident. So he is 16-0, and I think he's going to be 17-0 after Saturday night.
So my question for you is: if Patricio Pitbull loses this fight, assuming we're going on that wavelength here, I mean, where does he go from here? Because it's been a really rough UFC start for him.
I think he's kind of done what he's wanted to do. He might retire. He might get one more fight. I don't know how many fights he got on his contract, but he wanted to go to the UFC. He finally got here, and unfortunately, he was 37 when it happened. He's 38 now, and his prime's behind him. But I think everybody who knows ball knows how good Patricio Pitbull was. But I think it's Hussein Keita's time. The 27-year-old is coming for him.
Yeah, and I'm a little surprised at this bout order here because you would think that Pitbull Chiesa would be further at the top of this because this next fight is against two budding prospects in the welterweight division. Axel Sola taking on Reyes McKee, and I've been high on Reyes McKee for quite some time. I just feel like Sola is just too unproven. What do you think?
I agree, and I think the biggest thing here is Reese McKee is going to be massive in this fight. Alex Sola is a lightweight. He is a lightweight. Reese McKee is a real welterweight. This fight is at welterweight. Alex Sola took this on short notice. This fight was made about 2 weeks ago, And I think he's good, but I think Reese McKee is going to be too much for him too soon. He needs a full camp for him.
Yeah, I would agree that he needs a full camp for him as well. I think we're in agreement there. Would you go more conservative? Because I think McKee's going to win by decision. What do you think?
I agree. I think it's a close enough fight betting. If people going to bet, I just go pick him to win. But I think there's a real chance here that Reese McKee might get a TKO.
Really interesting. What makes you say that?
I've been watching a lot of Alex Sola fights lately, and I like how he fights. He's a dog, but he likes to throw with his chin out there, and I think Reese McKee's the type of guy to throw a straight shot down the middle and find it.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. I wasn't really sure where you were going with that, but that makes a ton of sense to me. All right, let's continue to move up the card here. We're almost done previewing this thing. Fight number 12 of 14 is Modestus Bakak.
And well,
His
we're missing one. We can't skip Balaji versus Mason Jones.
you're right. You are 100% right. Let's take a look at that one first. This is another high level fight. And again, I just think that Mason Jones keeps it rolling. What do you think?
If, like you said, if you had a lock of the night, you'd pick Omar Sy. If I had a lock of the night, I would pick Mason Jones. I think he's going to get the job done by decision. I think Balaji good, but I think we saw that Chris Duncan was too much for him. And I think Mason Jones is very Chris Duncan-esque. And I just think he's good. He got kicked out of the UFC, has done nothing but win since. He had a great win against Jeremy Stevens. They scrapped it out, had a fun time, and I think he's
Uh,
going to get the job done now. A lot of wrestling.
I was there. That was a great. It was a great fight. It was a great fight.
What do you
Um,
think?
Um, I mean, I just see it being a really, really high level fight. I see these two just going in there and just beating the absolute crap out of each other with very little technicality. And I think Jones catches him with something and either more than likely, knocks him out or ends up just winning a decision where he takes two out of the three rounds. And I just think Okai is going to give him a really difficult test overall. But it's going to be one of those fights where people are going to look back on it and say this is the fight where Mason Jones showed massive improvement in a lot of areas.
I agree 100%. You couldn't have said it better.
So I'm really excited for this one. I would earmark this fight as a sleeper, and I think the Tapology community agrees with us. They really like me, Easton Jones here too. So I think a lot of people have a chance to do really really well prediction wise on this card, just given what the analytics were saying. If you know what I mean.
No, 100%. But
All right,
now, like you're saying, this next fight, banging.
yeah, this one should be good. I don't mean to be disrespectful towards Paul Craig, but I think he's fighting for his UFC career here. What do you think?
I 100% agree. I mean, you could see right there since 2023, if this is an L, it'll be nothing but L's in a no contest because he upkicked Rodolfo Bellato, which now I thought he was going to win that fight. I thought he looked good, but take that away from it. He's not looking good. And I hate to say it too. I think Modestas Bukauskas is going to beat him and going to make him look bad.
I do too. And not only do I think he beats him, I'm going to go a step further, and I actually think he gets a first round win.
I don't know if it's going to be first round, but man, I can see a finish for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna go a little bolder than maybe you will. I'm picking him. I'm picking him to win in the first round. I think it's gonna be an ugly win for him.
Yeah, I think this might be it for the Bear Jew Paul Craig, but I
Yeah,
can't say I don't love him. I love the war paint. I love his personality. I love the accent, but
yeah. Unfortunately, you're right, 100%. All right, let's take a look now. We're into the co-main event: BSD versus Mauricio Rufy. And I know this is Paris versus Brazil, but just given the success that the Fighting Nerds have had, how can you pick against Mauricio Rufy in this spot? I actually think that this is his fight to lose, in my opinion. What do
I
you? What do
don't
you?
know if you can see if I'm a little biased or whatnot, but I'm a bit of a Fighting Nerds fan myself. I think Mauricio Hoofy's gonna KO Benoit Saint Denis silly.
Really? Okay.
Silly. It's gonna look bad.
Like how bad are we talking in the first or second round?
I think late first after Benoit's chasing and Huffy keeps slipping, hitting, slipping, hitting, slipping, hitting. And I think eventually he's going to hit like a straight right hand or an uppercut or a hook that is just going to make Benoit fall to his knees, and Huffy's going to follow up and put him away. I think it's going to be nasty.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. So you're going a little bit bolder. I'm gonna say early second round, but I could see this ending in the first as well. All right,
I
let's take.
He's my
Oh,
favorite fighter on the card. This is my favorite fight on the card. I can't wait.
really? Well, haven't you said it's been your favorite fight for like for like a bunch of the
Oh,
fights
I
though?
know. They're so
Is this
good. They're
your
so
is it
good.
so is this like your ultimate favorite if you had to, if you had to rank them or something?
Let me I would say this one out of the other ones, if someone who is a casual UFC fan, I'd be like, you have to watch this fight.
Fair enough. All right, let's take a look at the main event here. It's part of the middleweight unofficial tournament logjam, as I like to call it. The next leg of this thing, Nasruddin Imamov, Kyle Bahayo. And I know we were just talking about the fighting nerds just a minute ago, but man, with the way Imamov looked in his last fight and him fighting at home, man, I think it's very difficult to pick against him. And I said it on my latest edition of Bando's Breakdowns. I don't think Bahayo has fought in an environment of this magnitude of just like pro France bias that he will compete in until this weekend. And I think it's going to hurt him in a big way. And I actually think that Imamov gets a third round TKO in a very entertaining fight. And I'm going to go a step further and say he's going to get a third round TKO while losing the fight. So he'll be losing the fight, and then he'll get a mid-to-weight third round TKO to end just an absolute main event war, in my opinion. It'll be an awesome fight. Awesome fight.
Oh, I hate to agree with you, but I totally understand what you're saying. I'm gonna pick Hayo to win. I think he's gonna have some tough moments for sure, but I think he's gonna outgrapple Imavov. But
Really?
I
Okay.
think he's gonna be worse for the wear afterwards. I think he's gonna be cut up. I think he's gonna be bruised, busted, hurt, but I think he's gonna get the job done.
Interesting. So we disagree on the main event. So overall, it seems like you and I are doing pretty well record wise. You are a few fights ahead of me, which I'm actually quite impressed with. I think you're at like 214 and I'm at like 202 or 206 or something. I so I just I mean I think it's cool. We agree on most of them, but it's our first main event in disagreement since we've been doing this. And yeah, I mean I think it'll be a fun card. At least I hope it is, and it's nice to see that the UFC is back on a regular schedule because they're mainly international the entire month of September. So people are gonna have to get used to it. From that front, um, they only are in the United States. I'm pretty sure. I think only once, which is next week when they go to San Antonio. So it'll be an interesting it'll be an interesting vibe in Paris this weekend. Any final thoughts before we get off the air with this preview, and just any final thoughts that you're looking forward to in what should be a busy month in September before October really starts to heat up.
Uh, my favorite thing about this card, and I want to preface this for everybody, it starts at 11 a.m. Central Time. It's 12 p.m. East
Eastern.
Coast,
Yeah.
9 a.m. Pacific. It's an awesome card. I can't wait. It's gonna be great.
You sound like Dana White when he does his when he does his if you don't know now you know picks. Which I actually think if he does end up doing a release for that this week, that he will have a very hard time choosing.
Well, you
um,
saw me. I have a bunch of favorites.
no, for sure, absolutely. Would you say out of the cards in September, do you think that this is the deepest card, or do you think that Perth might beat it at the end of
This
the
is
month?
the deepest for sure. I think this is the deepest. It goes this, and then probably Noche, and then probably Perth.
Okay, okay. Interesting. Well, that's going to do it for our MMA Outsiders UFC Paris preview. We'll be back to recap everything next Tuesday, along with all the latest news in combat sports and around the UFC. And we will do the exact same thing on Thursday, except only next week we're going to have not just one card to preview. We're gonna have two because it would be sacrilegious not to of love to the fight of the century between Canelo and Crawford. So
Yeah,
I'm
I cannot wait.
so I'm looking forward to reviewing it all with you, Jack. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and thank you to the entire playback community for tuning in because we couldn't do it without you. We hope you have a wonderful weekend. We hope you enjoyed the fights this weekend, and we'll see you soon. Have a good one.